Good morning guys. We are back at it again with another video. I am coming at you live from the ICF build here. Handy Woman is your reporter today, and we just got the first concrete truck here. There's gonna be 4 come in at 4 different intervals during the day, so every hour there's gonna be a new concrete truck that is going to be pouring 3 feet of concrete for our new casa over here. And we're just pouring the first walls today, first floor walls. So that's what we're going to be showing you. We're going to have some nice drone footage, some nice live footage. Hopefully we don't have any blowouts, which means that the concrete starts bulging. Handyman.
Yeah, once you get it all like...
He's over there strategizing at the moment. This thing is not going to be falling over anytime soon. Handyman.
It's like I'm being interviewed for my own channel here. I love it.
Hold on, you are. How do you feel about how today's going to go, Handyman?
I feel very good. Probably a lot better now than I did this morning and I did yesterday. Now that everything is here, everything has been organized, we've got everybody here.
Yeah, so
a lot less stressful, but still you're pouring 36 yards of concrete into walls and it's like, things can go wrong, but nothing's gonna go wrong today. No. At least nothing that we can't fix.
Everything's gonna be perfect. Let me know if you guys want me to take over Handyman's channel more often, because I personally think I should. But yeah, we'll get started working here. Quit talking, start working. On this job site because it's raining concrete over there. I don't have a hard hat on.
Okay. My house is leaking, man. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah. Can you guys push all those anchor bolts in? Yeah, I just pushed it. Thank you. It's way down there.
So we're done.
Oh man, it's crazy because like I was so stressed out before like the last like week or so, especially the last like 2 days. And you're constantly thinking about all the problems that could happen, like taking care of every little detail. And there was absolutely zero problems.
No blowouts.
No blowouts or anything like that. And we got her done. We got all the concrete in the walls, and that was the most important thing. We got delayed a little bit at the start with the pump truck. He couldn't use a 3-inch reducer on it, so we had to go through the big 4-inch pipe. So I was just wrangling that guy around all day, and I'm not, we're good to go.
You're just pretty dirty. I mean, like your face, your eyes, you have lines from your sunglasses.
Oh yeah, these shoes are pretty well trashed right now, but other than that,
it's all good.
We got her done. All right guys, so you would have just seen our ICF walls being poured with concrete, and one thing that a lot of you guys had questions about was that there's no horizontal rebar going through our entire ICF structure. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, I've watched some videos on it and I've seen how people build these and there's all this rebar going through it. Why didn't you have to put rebar specifically through the horizontal portions? So we still have some number 5 rebar on either side of our windows, below the windows, and then our lintels above the windows and around our door openings as well. So I was contacted by Helix to basically use a micro rebar which acts as a rebar replacement. Now this stuff is really cool here. It is almost kind of like a toothpick, and it may seem like it would be very easy to design something like this, but that's not the case.
No.
Eh?
It was actually designed and engineered at the University of Michigan to create a way or engineer the best way to strengthen concrete. So each strand of Helix has 360 degrees of twist that's mechanically twisted, and it's patented through the United States to provide stronger, longer lasting, more durable concrete.
So yeah, this isn't some kind of like fad product or anything like this. Luke, the CEO, we'll call him.
The president.
The president of Helix. He started working on this in 2003. So this isn't something that that they just designed willy-nilly or anything like that. Like she said, it was done through the University of Michigan. And it's got some awesome benefits as well, especially if you're doing more residential construction.
Definitely. It's ICC approved, which is the only ICC rebar replacement for residential through the International Building Code and the International Residential Code. Yeah, and we've done a lot of projects throughout the United States and across the world. We've worked with Topgolf, FedEx.
I love Topgolf.
You do, yeah.
It's like my favorite place to go.
Yeah, down in Australia. We do a lot of work for different types of warehouses, residential, commercial stuff. Hilton, Garden Inn, a lot of hospitals, and also, as you know, as we just mentioned, Topgolf, which we did some exterior pavements out there.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of work with the heavy industrial stuff as well. So if there are slabs, heavy industrial stuff that requires a lot of load, that's where Helix has been a big benefit, because it can remove some steel, structural steel as well, which is also provided through the ICC report.
So obviously one of the main benefits is like, say you're to hire somebody to do your ICF walls for you or to do a slab for you. Where this comes into benefit is it really saves on the time and the labor that would need to go into that. So we kind of briefly talked about that, but one thing that you even mentioned, which is something that I'm learning during this house build, it's like maybe you could do it yourself, but even finding people to either lay rebar or do this kind of work can sometimes be difficult. So having this as a replacement can really be of benefit.
Yeah, it's no secret that labor is the biggest problem facing the construction industry. So being able to take away that time and that effort that people are putting into slabs, formwork, ICF, even precast, it's becoming very difficult. You can eliminate a lot of that time that you spend just by putting Helix into the concrete at the ready mix plant.
So this stuff here is mixed in at the concrete plant, and so you don't really have to worry about it too much, because they actually have engineers that will talk with the concrete company just so that everything is going to be mixed properly, and then they just kind of truck it down here, and if you're doing a slab, they pour it into the slab or they boom it into your ICF walls. I'm just like thinking to myself, man, if I had to run horizontal rebar at every single layer, so every single foot layer, I would have to run horizontal rebar. I think it's probably number 3, number 4, or something like that, throughout the entire structure. And it was just like the other day when I got this stuff, I'm like, wow. So I would have, and I'm just like looking at the building, I'm like, wow, that would have taken a lot of time and effort. And especially if you're doing something yourself, it takes out basically one step that you don't really have to focus on and work on too much, and you can get your project done much faster. Now, something that you might be thinking about, like how expensive is something like this? And just for the size of our project, it might add around $1,000 or about $1,500 if we're comparing this to using straight rebar and doing all the labor yourself. So it is going to be a little bit more expensive, but a lot of where the savings comes in is, especially if you're hiring people to do it, so you don't have to pay for their time and for their labor. They can basically, set up any formwork or set up your ICF walls, and they don't have to worry about all the rebar that's going in through it.
A great example of time savings can come in when you're doing footings and slabs, where your multiple days of construction or multiple days of pour, you can save 30 hours just by mixing, pouring, and finishing. You don't have that extra added step of placing and tying the rebar and creating complex footing structures just to place the concrete after that. You can just dig and pour. And a lot of that's the same with the ICF. You're eliminating all that effort layer by layer of placing that rebar. You can just stack and pour.
Stack and pour, that's what we like to do. And keeping things simple in that regard as well. But there's also some other benefits as well of using this as opposed to traditional rebar.
Yeah, so it provides, not only is it easier to pour, there's a definite strength of the concrete that comes with just the performance side of this. So the concrete in itself, it's going to increase the amount of load that it could take before you see any failure with that you would get with plain rebar. As we know, concrete is a very, it's more of a brittle substance, and that's why it requires rebar to create its strength and create its, but a lot of that's post-crack. This provides all that strength pre-crack. So you're getting higher loads than you would receive with plain concrete or plain concrete with rebar.
If you want to get in contact with them, their information will be down in the description box and comment section below, and you can talk with Helix directly. You don't have to go through a distributor or anything like that. You can talk with them directly, and you can submit your project to them, and they'll be able to tell you obviously how much it's going to cost, and they take care of any of the engineering on the back end or anything like that, and being in contact with your ready mix supplier and getting this stuff in your walls.
We like to take you from the project, your project that you have engineered and designed, through our engineers in-house and working with your ready mixer just to make sure that you get the best product that you can.
Awesome, guys. Check them out and show them some love, show them some support, and yeah.
Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube.
At Helix